stop burning minutes or data or
cast. I think he said stop burning cast.
cat?
I don't know. It's fucking Dan. Who knows?
Okay. But
Who's
now I'm
fucking
recording.
Dan?
Listen. Yeah. I don't know. I got nothing. I'm exhausted. So my brain is functioning about 30%. So I'm about to say a lot of wild
Wait,
shit.
hold on a
It's
second.
gonna be fun considering
What's
I'm
the
now
difference?
asking you to talk about a movie that you watched probably yesterday or the day
Oh, I did.
before.
I watched it yesterday
Okay.
at 9:00
At night
and
or in the morning?
I did make it through the entire movie. However, I will say this: I had to wake up at 5 a.m. this morning, so that was regrettable.
Okay, so it's 9:00 last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally just got done recording or done watching it because I had a recording this morning that didn't happen because of mic issues or sound issues. But then after that, I went to the Beyond Van Gogh exhibit here in town, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Is that the light show one? Or the video wall one?
Yes.
Yeah, I went to that. They had one in Albany. It's about an hour away from me. And it was rad as shit.
Freaking awesome.
It's
man.
rad.
Sadly,
it's so
I know by the time people are listening to this, the exhibit should be done nationwide because I think it ends in like August. And this is coming out in the end of August. So it's probably done. But if you get a chance, go see it. It is amazing.
And if you don't, you're a big fat fucking loser.
Well, just apparently we found out that they're going to be doing this again next year, but with I think the security guard said Monet, so it's going to be a yearly thing with different artists.
See, that's the problem though. Is it all costs Monet? So
fair, but it's worth it.
How much does it
really
cost?
Cool. I liked going to that versus like
$20.
a regular.
That's not bad
for like an hour.
You know, like a regular museum that's boring. It was really cool.
Museums, that's why I like to go to art shows because we have local art shows around here, and I can just pop into them. And then they actually have art that I can afford there too. So
that's fair. I actually just got back from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is hop, skip, and a hot.
I bet.
Mainly humid, but it was a cool experience. I actually didn't like Fort Lauderdale all that much because it is very much a party city. But my recommendation, Hollywood, Florida, is rad as shit. That's where Margaritaville is. But if you get up at like 6 a.m., it's just locals on the beach, and it's like super mellow and relaxed. And then like right around noon or 1, that's when like the tourists start rolling in, and then it's too hot anyway, so you just want to bounce and like
go back to your hotel, relax.
Yeah, just like go check out other places. Like there's a lot of really cool mellow spots. Fun fact, there's the Wilton Manors, which is like the number one queer, second queer like place in Florida, and your boy is real hot there. Because nothing but rich old dudes were just checking me out the entire time. Huge confidence boost for me. Thank you very much. It was rad as shit. I was just like, oh wow, I'm like hot in Florida. Okay, that's cool. That's rad. That's new for me. This is fun. And then we went to Miami one day because it's like a 30-minute drive on the I-95. So as long as you don't like get murdered, you're fine. And we went to Wynwood. And the Wynwood Walls, which is like Wynwood is rad. It's a part of Miami. It's all street graffiti. Like all the famous like street graffiti artists got started there. So I highly recommend Wynwood Walls. It was a really cool like experience. Just going in because it's like an art exhibit, but it's just murals, just graffiti murals everywhere. And then you can walk around this like that area for free and see no joke, every building has a mural somewhere.
That's awesome.
So they you can get free maps and take a tour and stuff. And Zach the Baker is like a bake shop down there, a bakery. That's the word I was looking for. Is a bakery? It was delicious. It was really good. So
sweet.
Yeah, there you go. If you're ever in the area, if you're just ever in the Florida area, check it out.
I mean, we go down to Florida every year, but we're hitting Disney, so
yeah, it's a couple hours away.
A little bit. It's a little bit of a drive.
Florida's too humid for me. I try to avoid it.
Actually, I've heard that like in the winter it's mellow. Like that's realistically the time to go.
If you go around February or March, it's actually like 80 degrees every day and it's kind of nice down there.
Yeah. It was fine until about 11 a.m. and then it was like unbearable. Like, but it was just sweat.
That's what we usually do. We'll rope drop the parks, and then about sometime between like 11 and 1 is when we're done at the park. We go back to the hotel, we relax, go sit by the pool for a couple hours, and then go back to the parks by like 3 or 4 in the evening. And it's just nice. It's this nice break to the day. Yeah. We've pretty much figured out what to do. We go to Disney World all the time now.
That's the way to do it.
But we're not talking about Disney World. We're talking about League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Are we, Joey?
We are.
Is that what we watched?
This is what I watched. I don't know what you watched.
Well, it was what I watched.
I'm sorry. I thought you said we were watching League of Extra Horny Gentlemen. I think I watched the wrong one.
I saw that one last year.
How was it? Was it good?
Yeah, you know.
Was it better than this?
I'd give it, I'd give it 4 out of 8 cocks. I mean,
that's not bad. Hey, could have been worse.
So this movie, based off a comic book, based off of one of Alan Moore's books. So automatically, you know that Alan Moore is going to hate this movie.
Shocking.
Oh, I'm sure he shit talked it or something. Probably
every single movie.
But see, if I ever actually cared what Alan Moore had to say, I got comics from him, and that's all I needed from him.
Right, exactly. Like his comics are amazing, but when they go to the movies, he just doesn't. He becomes a. I don't know.
Do you think it's because it's not an exact translation from what he created, and he's just such a narcissist that
he just doesn't get enough money for it?
No, because Watchmen is probably the closest adaptation of any of his work, and he still hates that.
The movie or the show?
The movie.
The movie.
You really think that's the closest?
The only thing that they changed from the book to the movie is like that the monster.
Yeah. Like the rest of it is damn near.
They take out the ship part.
So yes, however, they did release the Tales of the Black Freighter as a separate thing. It's animated, and then there's like a collector's edition that has that integrated into the movie at the parts they're supposed to be. I've got both. I just haven't watched them, and
I think I still have. I mean, I actually really like the Watchmen movie, but I have it somewhere on DVD, and I think I had that edition. Never watched that part because I actually found that to be the most boring part of the book. So
it was, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of found the book to be boring because I watched the movie first, and then I read the book, and I was just like, this isn't.
Well, when we get to Watchmen, which is coming up, I think we won't hit this year, but we'll hit it fairly soon. We can talk all about the Watchmen and how much Alan.
Well, I will say this: I did buy the book for League of Extraordinary Gentlemen because I was like, I'm curious of what the translation is. So this was 2004. This came out 2003, and it was in the summer. It was like right around this time. No,
I want to say.
I'm going to agree with Chuck because he just said it on the show. Therefore, it's canon.
Oh, I don't have it actually written down.
Because I believe my mom remembers this movie, and so typically it's right around our birthday that we would go see a movie. Like her and I are there only like a week or two apart. So if we went to a movie, it was probably to see this. So I believe this came out around my birthday. I remember going to the theater and being like, "This is kind of rad. Like this is dope. These are like." Literary characters,
right?
And they're literary characters or like Universal monsters, kind of, like era stuff. But they're superheroes, and this was like right at the peak of like superhero movies being rad, where they're just greenlighting any comic book IP that they can get.
Superhero movies started to take off. I mean, by this point, we've had a couple Spider-Mans. We've had obviously all the Batman movies that kind of, but we're on the cusp of Batman Begins.
Yeah.
The Marvel stuff we had. What else do we have from Marvel? I want to say like
Spider-Man 2 had just happened.
Daredevil had just hit. Hulk had just come out.
Oh,
I think.
That was terrible.
Well, but Blade, the X-Men, we've had a good run of comic book movies.
And I remember liking this. I remember walking out, I was like, this is kind of rad. This was dope. This was a good action movie. Or like a fun, I shouldn't say good. This was a fun action movie.
Fun action movie is correct, yes.
And like, I would have been like, what, 13? So like this hit everything I wanted.
I always figured you're such a baby.
Did I do the math right? 88.
No, you'd have been 15.
15, okay.
No,
well, listen,
like I was
that was a lot of concussions
20,
ago, man.
Or no, 2003, I was 20. So I don't remember if I saw this in theaters or if I waited till DVD.
See, I didn't see it in theaters and I saw it on DVD, but after watching it last night, I'm fairly certain that I never watched the whole movie because either I fell asleep during part of it or I walked out of the room during part of it or something. Because when I watched it way back when, I was like, it's okay or whatever. But last night I was like, damn, this is really freaking good. Like,
yeah.
Also, how did they get Tim to play Mr. Hyde?
He was very young back then.
Yeah, very young. Yeah.
But dude, straight up, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, that looks like fucking Tim, man. What
That's
the hell?
Boss. That's your boss. Be nice, okay? Jesus.
Plus,
we don't really have a lot of contact with him lately, so
yeah, that's fair. I saw him today, actually.
Nice.
To be fair, I didn't have a lot
You can
of contact
verify
with him
that
either,
does look like Tim, just with more hair.
It does. It does. It's actually quite accurate.
He's right there, right just below Chuck.
I'm sorry. Did you say something about blowing Chuck?
No, he's right below Chuck, right here on the background.
I'm sorry. What was that, Chuck?
Yeah, exactly. But I remember after I got done with this movie and thinking it was cool, I remember like wanting like more of this. Like I wanted action figures and I wanted a comic book because I had no idea this was based off a comic book. Like I thought this was like an original IP idea and stuff like that. And then all of my friends were like, that movie sucks. Like this is a dumb, stupid movie. And I was just like, oh yeah, maybe it was. Cause like it wasn't like the best thing I'd ever seen, but it was pretty good. And then I watched it a lot because it was a part of DVD on TV on FX. This movie got played obnoxiously. And I remember catching parts of it and being like, yeah, I guess it isn't really that good, is it? Like, and like the TV adaptation of it sucks. Like they cut out actually like good amounts of it. And like kind of only keeping like there's, I don't know. I'll be honest. I still
because this is a PG-13 movie already.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's
weird but TV adaptations always suck. So, I mean,
true.
I remember thinking I don't think I ever really got the plot of this movie from the TV adaptation of it. So I was watching it last night and I go, I'm not totally sure I still get the plot of this movie.
I will wholeheartedly admit the plot isn't there.
Like they have something. Like they had something. And then they were just like, never mind.
Because, so the plot is this guy M, he's trying to get Alan Quartermain around he's recruiting Quartermain to then recruit a new League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which he says there's been a couple leagues throughout the years. There's like a picture, I think, of like Robin Hood on one of them.
Yeah, it was like Robin Hood's Merry Men, and
and he's like, okay, so like we have to go find Phantom. He's gonna go.
Who is supposed to be Phantom of the Opera?
Who doesn't know how to spell?
Yeah, spell Phantom with an F.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I did not realize until last night that it was supposed to be like Phantom of the Opera. Like
same.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to stop him from stopping this meeting in Venice.
From blowing up a meeting in Venice.
Blowing up, killing all these dignitaries or whatever the hell
has. And I mean, I know it's like 18 something, but I mean, he has fully automatic weapons. He has a perfectly working tank. Something that was like
enough. Tanks don't come until 1915. So yeah.
Like,
it's this menace. And like, okay, cool. This concept team comes together to fight the bad guy. We've seen it a million times. It's worked a million times. This is working for me.
This was the Avengers before the Avengers.
Correct. And I also got that feel.
Quartermain is Captain America.
Yeah.
The vampire chick is Black Widow. Obviously, the Hulk is Tim. Tony Stark is fucking Dorian Gray.
Okay. Oh yeah, that makes more sense.
I mean, I guess
no, Gray makes more sense
because he's arrogant and he's got the mustache thing. Thor would be like Nemo, and I guess Hawkeye would be Skinner.
So was Quartermain not actually a different a character from something different IP and got carried over?
Quartermain, hold on, I actually have a.
Who was played by, of course, Sean Connery, who was just the full Connery in this movie.
He was played by Sean Connery.
All right, so this is coming from IMDb. This movie's literary characters are Alan Quartermain, introduced in H. Rider Haggard's King Solomon's Mine from 1885. Mina Harker from Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1897.
Yep.
Dr. Henry Jekyll and Edward Hyde from Robert Louis Stevenson's The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 1886. Rodney Skinner, who replaced Holly Griffin from H.G. Wells' The Invisible Man. The character in the comic was given the name Holly Griffin, as the original novel gave no first name. Also, they never actually said Invisible Man because while the rest of these characters are in public domain, the Invisible Man was not. So they never actually said the Invisible Man. They only said an Invisible Man in the movie. Captain Nemo from Jules Verne, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, 1870, and The Mysterious Island, 1874. Dorian Gray from Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray, 1891. Tom Sawyer from Mark Twain's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, 1876, and its sequels. Ishmael from Herman Melville's Moby Dick, 1851, and Professor James Moriarty from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Final Problem, 1893. The Phantom and his mask design allude to Gaston Leroux's The Phantom of the Opera, 1911. And then British intelligence chief M alludes to Casino Royale, 1953 by Ian Fleming. As does somebody else who was taken out of the movie, so don't worry about him.
Wait, Moriarty is not from Sherlock Holmes?
This is from Sherlock Holmes.
Oh. Okay.
His first appearance was The Final Problem.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, no, the fact that they're able to use all these characters in this one story.
I mean, if I'm being honest, though, they didn't use Moriarty very well.
No. But going back to the plot of this, the plot was great up until it gets the big reveal, and then it's like Moriarty and Dorian Gray, and then Reed is in the background or whatever, and they're talking into the recording device, which is just them talking to the camera, and that looked odd. And then it's like, all right, cool. So the ship is, everybody's quote unquote dead. Now what are we going to do? Well, I guess we're going to go after Moriarty because there's nobody, he lied to us. So that's the plot now. The third act of this movie was kind of I'm not going to say rushed, but it definitely felt quicker paced than the rest of it.
It
felt out. It was like they had just gotten an entirely new script.
Yeah.
Well,
it was weird.
It's almost like they were planning on doing two movies, and they got it crushed into one movie.
So another thing, they were going to do a sequel. A sequel was planned, and it was supposed to have the aliens from H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, the tripod aliens.
Cool.
Because this movie did terrible, they kind of canned that idea. Which sucked, because I kind of would have liked to have seen that, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. But so rewatching this though, this movie is actually kind of fucking rad. Minus the last part, right? Like the third act,
the third act was just rushed.
But the action was rad.
Yeah.
The characters are rad. I still love Nemo. Nemo, I think, was my favorite character out of everyone. He's kind of quick-witted. He is a sword fighter, which was super rad. He had all the cool, the submarine, and
that's because he walks a different path.
That's true. He does walk a different. He did make that a point. And then he's got the car is unrealistic, right? There
In
was no way in hell
1899,
that
yes.
car was moving.
Look,
Even
It had
turning.
4 wheels up front. How? Like
It
they
doesn't
had to be
make
like
sense.
circular wheels or something.
It was a Rolls Royce. Don't ask questions, okay?
That's true.
I think
I'll
named
be
it- I
honest.
think I
Like
put
we'll
it
get
the first
into it in the end, but
automobile,
like
is a what is it called? Family-sized Batmobile is what I wrote.
yeah,
Because it was
kind
able
of.
to get 7 people into it.
I thought it looked cool. I liked Dorian Gray as a character. I never knew who Dorian Gray was. So
I
I
particularly hate Stuart Townsend's face.
Yeah, super fair.
fair.
That's fair. I think you're supposed to though. I think it's by concept. He does that on purpose. And then gets casted in these like kind of like
Asshole roles.
asshole, gray area roles.
Yeah.
Where he's not really a
He only
bad
has
guy or a
one
good guy.
suit, or I should say, the same suit over and over again. He doesn't have anything other than that gray suit, which is
That's because that's his last name.
That's his last name.
That's dumb.
That's his gimmick.
Yeah, it's his
his
shtick.
gimmick is having his painting on the wall, or not on the wall.
See, that's another thing. He said that if he looks at his painting, he would, like revert back to whatever. Why would you hang it somewhere where you're going to walk by it every day?
I think that's just it was there, and then once he got cursed, he took it down. But at the same time, that makes no sense because if he's as old as it's explained, because Quartermain says that he was a kid.
I was just a boy.
Yeah. There should
Again,
not
he's full Sean Connery in this movie.
Dude,
And it's just
so there's
brutal.
a point where Mina is imitating him in the boat. Allegedly,
the women must stay on the boat because it's not safe for the women.
Allegedly,
why is he so misogynistic in this?
Because
movie?
it's 1890 or something.
Yeah,
like
okay,
that.
I get that, but like they play it off like he's like it's okay. Like I don't know.
Heck,
like
it was when it's very. Okay,
but
I got something to say about that, but let me finish.
I get in the 1800s that it was probably okay, but like in 2003, yeah, I guess it was still probably like the narrative, but I don't know. It was like offensively obvious that they were trying to get that across as like this is a good thing. Like he's the hero. It's like I don't know.
It was more of a just women shouldn't be anywhere where there's action.
This is a league of gentlemen. What's the woman doing here?
That kind of, yeah.
She was a vampire though.
Yeah,
that was the whole thing.
No, she was La Femme Nikita. Okay,
that's true too.
She was a scientist. There's a difference.
She should have just killed him. Like she should have just gotten it over and taken over.
So, ironically, you said you bought the comic. In the comic, she apparently is the leader of the Extraordinary Gentlemen.
And rightfully so.
And she should. And she's the one that goes and recruits Quartermain and really the whole team. I haven't read the comic yet. I'm reading off of.
I haven't read it either. It's on my shelf over here. I just haven't gotten to it.
Really?
Yeah.
I might have to borrow that from you sometime. Or I'll just find it on.
I'm very excited. I just hope it's not dry. Sometimes Alan Moore stuff's kind of dry, but
if you want Quartermain to be an opioid addict, then
all right.
So apparently,
is that a superpower in the comic?
That's in the comic, and Connery has stated that he doesn't want to do that. Like he's not going to do that, and so that's why they had to change his character to just being kind of a recluse. At the same time, apparently it was pretty famously known that Connery and the director Stephen Norrington hated each other and were arguing constantly on set.
Yeah, it kind of shows in his shitty acting in this movie. Like he,
And
for me, he was like,
movie. This was the last Sean Connery movie.
It feels like this was the last movie because he was so fed up. He was just like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I'm done with this.
Well, I
used to be James Bond. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Well, he almost was Gandalf. He was almost Gandalf.
That would have been atrocious.
That would have been terrible. I'm glad that he wasn't.
Why would you? Why?
He was offered
Gandalf.
Turned it down.
You shall not pass.
He was offered something else and turned it down. And I think that's why he took this role because he was offered a role in The Matrix as well. And both The Matrix and Lord of the Rings took off. I don't know. Probably not Neo.
Can you imagine?
That'd been...
I'm the one.
I can't do his voice. I know kung fu.
Yeah, because clearly we've been killing it, Joey.
I don't do voice acting. I don't.
Just change your lisp to a sh sound.
Yeah, I'm good. But I think because he had turned down those two movies and those both were successes, he's like, well, I guess I'll try this one. Shouldn't have done this one.
No.
Not that he wasn't a bad Quartermain. He was just too Sean Connery.
Yeah, if he had dialed it down by like 10%.
Which is hard to do, if we're being honest.
Isn't it? Somebody pitched the idea one time that he should play Bruce Wayne in the like Batman Beyond boot. And my skin crawled at that idea. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, back to this movie. I don't know. I really liked it. We'll get into it, but
like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when I watched it the first time. I enjoy it now. Yes, was it a great movie? No, it really wasn't. But
it's a fun movie. It's Street Fighter. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel. It was just trying to be a good action movie, and it was a fun watch. I liked it better than Steel. I can tell you that.
I watched this with Shayla, and when Jekyll and Hyde were like on the thing, she's like, "Oh my god, they totally whitewashed the Hulk."
Speaking of Hyde, Jekyll and Hyde,
Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll.
Sure, that transformation, and they did it a couple different times throughout. I actually enjoyed that.
Really, because I hated it.
It was like it wasn't CGI'd; it was practical, and obviously with the camera effects of like, oh, fast move, pacing, new camera action. Like
100% Hyde was CGI.
No. Pretty certain that was all like buff
prosthetic.
Yeah, that thing.
You can kind of tell. You can see the rubbery like movement. But then like when they blow the house up in the opening scene, clearly a CGI explosion.
Fire was because it did the same fire for the mansion at the end. Like
it's terrible. Just like it was super. Like why would you not just do a big explosion on that? Like you built it, just blow it up.
That's my house.
Well, the CGI on the Hyde wannabe at the very end was terrible. Like that was all CGI, and that was bad. So,
but meanwhile, everything with the Invisible Man looked rad as shit, and like I thought looked great.
Oh, you mean Priest from Blade 2?
Yes.
Yep. Also Van Gogh. Ironically, I was talking about that from Doctor Who. So yeah, I've seen him in a lot more movies lately, and that's awesome. He's a good actor. What's his name? Tony Curran.
And by lately, you mean like between like 2000 and 2007?
No, well, like within the last couple of months, just movies I've seen, he's in it. And I'm like, oh, or TV shows I've seen. I watch a lot of things. Okay, calm down.
Okay, if you say so.
If he's not doing a podcast, he's watching something for the podcast he has to go do. So Joey never stops working
anymore. Jesus, yeah, that sucks.
Cancel your shows. That's the trick. That's what I did.
But about Skinner, there were moments where the CGI on him looked good. Actually, there's most of the CGI on him looked good. But there was also moments where, like, let's see, they're in Dorian's place. It gets, shot up, whatever. They leave, and he's got like just the face whited out. And then they're in Nemo's car, and then it's his whole head because they didn't want to do CGI in the car, apparently. Because as soon as he gets out, just face again. That's a few of the only sticklers I had. Other than that, no, it was a good moments because there's a time when was it? Like he is not in the foreground, but he's not like fully in the background, and somebody like walks behind him, and you see it through his ear and like part of his neckline. Like they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, I do remember the DVD on TV, like extra stuff that he did have giant prosthetic, and it was like actually shockingly uncomfortable and hard to move in. But
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, that giant hump.
Yeah.
I still love this movie.
It was good.
Yeah, I remember I guess because my expectations were just so low, because I remember thinking, oh man, everybody hates this movie. It's why it had a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like
It doesn't
on
deserve-
both critic and like fan was like super low, and I was like, man, am I not remembering this movie totally right? And yeah, I guess maybe the third act is what kills it, but action's
I'll say
good.
for that killed Fan Four Stick for me, so and we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
So when it's revealed that Mina is a vampire, right? And she eats that dude's fucking throat out,
Yeah.
why is his fucking blood orange?
Also, why was she able to walk into Dorian's house without him inviting her in?
Because Dorian's house is not a home; it's a brothel.
I can see that.
Was she not there once before?
That's possible too.
I think,
Yeah, 'cause they talk
I
about
thought they
banging.
alluded to the idea that they had met before or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
but
fuck.
Maybe I'm.
She would have known this
probably.
was his house, though, wouldn't it? She was very surprised, or he was. Well, he was surprised that she was there. Okay,
Yeah, she
maybe.
knew exactly where she was going.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe
I don't know.
maybe she's not restricted like some vampires.
I also
We
like
never
how
see that in Blade. You realize we never seen that in Blade?
people not getting invited in.
Well,
Yeah.
that vampires won't enter a place if they're not invited. They never do that. I
Well,
would
no,
love to
because-
see them hone that as like one of his abilities as a daywalker, is that he can just enter buildings whenever he wants. He doesn't have to be invited into people's homes, and other vampires can. They're like super bummed out about it. I want just one whole book of just that, of just Blade shit talking other vampires because he's
On
able
the
to
other side
walk
of the
into
doorway.
rooms. Yeah. Oh my god, that'd be so good.
That'd actually be kind of fun. So I know when Moriarty's men, or I'm sorry, Phantom's men, show up at Dorian's place, he immediately says that, these aren't my people. But no one questions it anymore after that.
Yeah,
Like it's just immediate. Like, all right, cool. You're part of we trust you, even though you said you weren't going to join us. I don't know. This time around, I guess I just realized, or just saw all the signs of like, no, this guy's an idiot. This guy's bad from the start.
yeah.
They're too damn dumb to see.
Well, see, and that's another thing. Like, he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it." But yet he was in, like, the whole plan was for him to be part of the group so he could steal all their stuff.
But that's the thing. I think he was, playing them. It's like, oh, I'm not going to join. Well, now that they've brought war to my house, I'm going to join now because now I want to get them. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Speaking of bringing war, apparently there's a scene. I don't know if it was a scene cut out or just in the script and just never filmed. Talking more about Sawyer's background. Phantom allegedly killed Huckleberry Finn, Agent Huckleberry Finn, because Tom and Huck were agents of the U.S. military or whatever government, and so that's why Sawyer shows up tracking Phantom down, and that's why he's here.
I feel like Tom Sawyer didn't trick enough people into doing work for him.
I feel like
Isn't that
Tom
his
Sawyer would have died at a young age. So, wait.
Yeah,
Wasn't
was it Huckleberry Finn that tricked people?
Or
or
was it Huckleberry?
No, it was Tom.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tom Sawyer tricked all the kids into
'cause-
painting the fence for him.
Yeah.
Because because at my job we constantly call it being Tom Sawyer into doing something. My boss will convince me that I should do this thing because it's
Yeah,
really fun.
being huckleberried is when you go on a trip with a big black dude.
That is actually true.
And I broke Chuck.
I'm just glad you didn't actually use his name. Let's just be honest.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we got there, buddy. We got there.
Oh, that's great.
Oh god.
Let's see what else we got. I have written down Mina in sunlight because apparently, even though she's a vampire, she can go out. She's also a daywalker.
She had an umbrella.
Not on the sub. Not when they were on the
It
Nautilus.
was overcast.
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay.
She also doesn't have to be invited into rooms. What do you want here, man? Like, she's a half vamp. I don't know.
Fair.
She's not Dracula. She was. So wait, is she a victim of Dracula? Is that what she is?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. She's not. Is she Dracula's love interest in the book? I haven't read that.
So she is. Okay. Do you remember? Did you watch the movie with
Reeves and Oldman.
Yeah.
No, the cover was too
Long time
scary.
ago.
Yeah, cover was too scary. I couldn't watch it.
So Mina is basically Harker's girlfriend or wife, fiance, whatever.
Okay.
And Dracula
Just bangs her pretty much.
Basically tries to court her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they called it back in the old days.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, just super friendly reminder that Dr. Doom banged Blade's mom and cured her of her vampirism. I just love to bring that up whenever I can. So anyway, go ahead.
That's fair.
Yep. I forgot to bring it up in the last episode.
Yeah,
Check
the last Blade coverage. Yeah. I can cut this out and put it in there.
Oh, could you? That'd be great. Just like transfer it over. Yeah, just make that quick edit. That'd be good.
Just
it sounds like something you would do, Joey. It sounds like something you have time to do, you know?
See, now I want to, just to prove a point.
Look at you, Chuck, making more work for poor Joey.
Oh, you know what? He does look like Tim, so
can we talk about how original having a German bad guy was for this movie?
I mean,
makes sense. A bunch of English/US dudes gonna go fuck up a German who's totally not a Nazi, okay, in any conceivable way, despite the fact that he had superior technology, full-plated armor, which apparently was like, was that new?
I mean, I guess at this time,
it's got full-plated armor. Oh my god, they're invincible.
World War I hasn't taken place. Not that they have full-plated armor.
Oh, so let's go with this. So they're wearing plated armor on their chests, right? And Quartermain is supposed to be like the greatest crack shot, whatever. But yet he shoots him in the chest every time.
No, the one time he shot the gun, which knocked into the guy's head, and he knocked into the
But what I'm saying is every shot should have been a headshot. It should have been like watching The Walking Dead.
Also, they only had the coverage on the front.
Right? Yeah.
Like
no, I think it was a front and back. They had capes over it, though.
It was not back because Quartermain shot him in like the shoulder.
Oh, that's right.
Guy, and then they dragged him back.
Oh, that's right. And then he took the poison.
Yeah.
I thought he shot him in the leg.
Don't let him die. He's got information. And then he so dramatically eats the poison. I was just like, what is happening right now? Why? And then the house blew up. And I was like, okay. All right.
The house blowing up.
Also,
this is just a fun movie.
The bombs that Dorian plants on the sub, right?
How did
none of the workers, because this is like their livelihood. I assume they've been on this ship for years.
Yeah.
Like they live there, they eat there, they sleep there. How would they not notice all these ticking packages? And they weren't even like hidden. Like one of them was sitting like right beside a doorway that the guys were walking back and forth through. Like,
also, I understand sound travels, but especially in a sub. But from where that thing was being played, even in a high pitched sound, how did the one on the very far end hear that high pitched sound? Through closed doors, through sheets of metal, unless the metal is reverberating it.
Well, even then, even if the metal would have reverberated it, it wouldn't have been at the same frequency.
Yeah, exactly.
And it wouldn't have happened. That's the magic of movies and such.
Here's the thing. At a regular basis at my job, I go to one wall where my knife box, where I keep my knives, used to be. And it has not been there for at least 8 years. Yet I still go to that spot every time. And then I go, oh yeah, the knives aren't over here. And then I walk to the other end. So I'm saying they're probably just completely clueless and are not paying attention. And that's how you have the bombs just hiding. Because I usually just disassociate for 8 hours every day at my job. So I would assume that they would too.
But in your scenario, you're going to a thing that was there, but it's not there anymore. You're still following that pattern. If there's something new in their place, they would notice that new thing.
Yeah,
right
so if
there.
they had hung a fork box where your knife box used to be,
I would still walk over and try to grab it and go, "Oh, this
but you'd be like, "Oh wait, this is a fork. What the fork is this doing here?"
no." I'd probably still try to cut with it.
Why is it taking so long to cut?
I swear it's done. The fork goes in.
Oh, so they're speaking of plot. Once Venice starts blowing up, buildings start collapsing, and their genius idea is to get ahead of the blast and blow up another building to stop the other buildings from collapsing. Wouldn't blowing up a building cause more?
So what was happening is everything
collapse?
was tipping one way,
That's just
so
the
they
one
had to tip it the other way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like dominoes.
But by blowing it, so by blowing up this house here to stop this flow coming over here, wouldn't blowing this up cause this one to stop, but wouldn't cause this one over here and this one over here to start falling as well?
No, because it's pushing the force of the other explosion back, and they already stopped the other one.
Stop this one.
So this is
Stop
what
A,
happened, Joey.
but C and-
Imagine that the buildings
B
are
and C are
dominoes.
still- No,
If the buildings are dominoes, they pulled out the next domino in the series, so that all that happened was the last domino fell instead of hitting the next one.
they didn't pull out the domino; they blew up the domino.
That's
Look,
true.
their pullout
more-
game is not
more-
strong, all right, but
That's
it worked.
true. Very often, 22 out of 100 times, the dominoes still fall. So because you didn't pull out, that's actual fact. Just so everybody knows. Stop pulling out. Wear a condom. So some of us, some of us in this room just need to remember that.
Not me.
I don't have to worry about that, but Chuck, you definitely need to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Just
talking
remember,
about.
it's like my dad said: if you fuck her mouth or her ass, she can't get pregnant.
Shout out to your dad. Shout out to your dad.
Words of wisdom from old Rod.
Yeah. You know what the logic is? It looked fucking cool. That's what the logic was, Joey. All right? They just got to blow. It was a controlled blow up. It's like the concept is they have a bomb, so they need to go in and blow the bomb up and have a controlled blow up.
Sure.
That's what they're doing.
I understand that.
I'm not saying it made sense. I'm just saying your comic book logic is we have to go blow up the thing that's going to blow up.
It's just
I've never understood how defusing a bomb by blowing the bomb up ever made any sense to me.
Yeah. Well, it's no different than controlling a fire. You start a fire over here to burn out.
No, actually, that does make sense because the controlled fire that you burn out a section where it stops the fire from being able to spread past.
Yeah,
Yes,
no, that
exactly.
makes sense, Joey. You're just stupid.
It's the same thing with control.
God damn!
Woo! That was harsh.
And
It's true.
let's move it on.
Moving on.
So my notes stop at the Hyde wannabe being terrible. That's basically the end of the movie where they get to Moriarty's base, and
All right, no, that's not the end of the movie.
that's
How
where
the flying fuck did they get Nemo's 19 million foot fucking boat up a river?
It's powered by.
comic book logic.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Plus, is it?
Well, wasn't it like
Talking about in
engine
Venice? Or
powered?
you talking about in?
Like in Venice?
No. I'm talking about when they go up to the frozen area, like where it pops through the ice and then they disembark from there.
Oh, it's just all water. It's fine.
There's no way that river would have been deep enough from its mouth all the way up there for that boat to have made it the whole way there.
Did you see the front of that ship? It just cut its own path.
That's not
true.
how water works, Joey.
No, it cut its path.
That's
through
how Nemo's boat works.
Exactly.
It's Godzilla logic, okay?
It doesn't leave
Never
out of the
makes
sea.
sense
It's
how
so-
Godzilla actually gets in oceans.
100% it does. He can breathe underwater.
Actually, that's true.
Well,
He's
no, I
losing.
know that, but how is he in the middle of the ocean and he's standing up in it?
Oh,
Have you never
he
seen
has
the live?
stilts.
Oh, so Nemo's got Wedges.
Now, see, if they would have
High
said like,
heels.
if they would have like taken like a little piece of his boat, like they did with the little upside down octopus thing, that Dorian stole.
Yeah.
Like if they would have taken something like that, it would have made more sense.
Well, they had one on the other side, but
Listen, they had to build that fucking thing. They were going to get their money out of it, okay? They had to send it up the goddamn river.
Anywho,
got nothing. But
Again,
yeah,
comic book logic.
Comic book logic. They get to there. We see that there are a ton of tanks being built. We see a ton of like negative Mark 1 Iron Man suits, I guess. I don't know.
the full body, full plate suits.
Which that's like the worst design probably, because when the guy is going after Sawyer there at the end in that full body metal armor with the flamethrower, is burning all this one room. He has got to be boiling in that suit.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, "There's no way that dude's not dying inside of that suit."
That's before he gets, his tank starts blowing up and then he blows up.
Yeah, but to be fair, he's the bad guy.
Sure.
They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit if he dies in it.
But that's poor design. Like, how are you going to market that to an army if the guy's boiling alive, burning alive, melting in
because they're
suit?
Bad guys. They don't care.
But no. What Joey's trying to say is, you show them the prototype of the suit, you show them being used, and then you have to scrape the dude out of the inside of it so they can take it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They
great. Got more bodies. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's what the camps were for. So they were just get more in there. Mm-hmm. That's how it works.
Sure.
Fuck off and drive. I don't give a shit.
See what else do we have? We had like I said, we had a Hyde wannabe. We had an Invisible Man wannabe.
We didn't get a vampire wannabe, thankfully.
I did like that we got the evil Rangers pop-up episode at the end of this. All the different versions.
I was gonna say a very Marvel-esque, because all of phase 1 of Marvel is just repeat, like here's a hero and it's just copy paste villain. But evil
That's
Rangers
fair.
works too.
Oh yeah, that's actually, I never thought of that.
Yeah, most of phase 1 and some of phase 2 is literally just here's the hero, we're gonna copy those powers and give them to the villain.
Now, I did like the fight scene between Dorian and Mina.
That did look cool.
That was a lot of fun, especially like when he sticks her to the bed. I mean, not the way I would have done it, but
Well, he did say he wanted to nail her one more time.
Yeah. I thought he was going to go for it right there, and then I was like, wait, this is a PG movie.
PG-13.
Plus, yeah, so wait, where did they say fuck?
Huh?
Oh,
they didn't.
It was
I think PG-13 for violence.
Scary.
There was some blood, that orange blood that she drank.
I'm actually surprised that they didn't
kill her.
I figured they went for the orange to make it look
less like
real.
blood.
Oh,
yeah,
more like she was drinking tomato sauce out of his neck.
Yeah, he was Italian. It was clear.
they were in Venice. No, they weren't.
That's true.
No, they weren't. They were in
Venice. At that point in time.
It's actually a Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, a crossover. A lot of people didn't know that.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a literary classic.
Yeah. Anything else?
I mean, it's a fun movie.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a lot better than I remember. I will say that
it's better than I remember. I think the characters were really good. I think Sean Connery is the weak one in the movie.
He's very strong, though.
I mean, yeah. I feel like okay, if you could have recast
everybody but one as a puppet.
No, I mean then I would only have Mr. Hyde as the real one and everybody else is a puppet. That's simple. Like that's the easiest one.
Wait. No.
Man.
Not Mr. Hyde, okay? Dr. Jekyll is the real one. Mr. Hyde needs to be a puppet.
Oh shit! Actually, that's fair. Oh my god, he transforms into a tinier puppet. Yeah.
Okay, that would be a movie I'd watch.
Oh, that would be really, really good. But if you could take out Sean Connery, you could just throw somebody else in there. I don't know.
Like,
who would you replace him with though?
In that era,
probably his son Harrison Ford, right?
See, I don't think Ford would do it.
No, he wouldn't have been a very good.
He
I know this sounds weird to say, but Ford has too much charisma to like pull that role off.
To be a dickhead.
Well, to be a dry dickhead. You know what I mean? Like
that's because he's a wet dickhead because he's got so much charisma. He's always getting in there.
I don't think Alan Rickman would be bad.
Alan Rickman isn't.
Nope, because he's not a villain. Alan Rickman only plays villain parts. Sorry.
No, Galaxy Quest, my dude.
Okay, that's fair. He plays a douchebag in that.
Great role in that Galaxy Quest.
That is a great movie.
Alan Rickman would have been.
Are we watching that for the podcast?
No, it's not a comic book.
Look, we watched fucking Buckaroo Banzai. We can watch fucking
that
Galaxy
was
Quest.
Comic adjacent.
So is Galaxy Quest.
Anyway.
I have actually seen the magazine Buckaroo Banzai. They had shitty copies, beat up copies of it at my comic book store. And I went, "Oh, isn't this the thing that Bruce Campbell's in?" That's what I said. Good times.
Okay.
I'm gonna get to the superlatives. Is that what it's called? I still don't know the word I'm actually looking for here.
Yeah, because I don't know what superlative means.
It's like the scores, the superlative
stuff.
Yeah.
Radio. So our kill count, and I'm pretty sure I missed a couple. But I did make sure that when like the hydrogen balloons were blowing up and when Venice was falling over, I only count those as one. So
yeah, but it's one for each building.
No, because the explosion was one explosion.
It was one explosion.
It was one explosion, which is one attack.
Rules.
I actually have to give it to Joey this time.
Was it actually one explosion? I thought it was like I thought it was a series of explosions.
The bombs were into the one building, and then it just kept dominoing.
Oh yeah, okay, that would be one. You're correct. That is one. Yep.
And then like the building blowing up at the end, one kill. So I got 59.
And the building blowing up at the beginning was one kill.
Yes,
that is accurate. Yes. It's one kill. Yep.
I don't know if anybody was in there anymore, but still.
I think the bartender was still in there.
Probably. I got 59, and like I said, I'm sure I probably missed a couple. But
yeah. I mean, there was a lot of like flipping swords around, and like a lot of dudes just kind of like dancer size jumping out of the way. So it's kind of hard to tell if they actually died or not.
There was the scene when Nemo and Hyde were getting attacked in the building, and like the one guy's come up from like the upper levels and just shooting down. There are like a bunch of Nemo's men go down, and then it like cuts to Hyde doing something, and then back to Nemo, and those men are going down again. I'm like, I can't count that twice. Like it's the same guys getting killed. Like I can't.
That's true.
Fair.
So.
Yeah, that's not too far off. I mean, that's still less than Batman by himself. So,
true.
Batman, a conservative, cold-blooded murderer.
And yes, I did watch that video. That was
me
in. Thank you for that.
I was hoping so.
I barely had time because, like I said, I literally finished this movie just before we hit record. So, anyway, so on to our bingo.
All right, so we had unexplainable science, comic logic. We had a dying mentor because in the end of it, Sean Connery dies and he was mentoring Tom Sawyer.
I'm like a father.
Betrayal by a friend. Misogyny, sexual innuendo, hero kills, actor playing himself because Sean Connery was just Sean Connery. Unless you can't tell me any different.
Sure.
That's 100% accurate. Yeah,
that's actually accurate.
A villain monologue, and then I know it's not exactly a Scooby chase scene, but I consider when Nemo and Hyde are running away from
very Scooby Doo
giant Hyde, a Scooby chase scene. Okay.
However,
we definitely got a bingo like twice at least.
Nice. I remember when I first watched this movie, and I think it's when he's on the boat for the first time, or they introduced the boat for the first time or something like that, and everybody's like gotten their like struggling with their sea legs or something, and Nemo's walking like a absolute fucking G. I remember I still think that it was like the coolest scene ever. I was like, yo, Nemo is the coolest. He's whipping around that stuff. You can definitely tell that this movie came out at the hype of lightsaber battles being like really cool now. Because they were literally doing lightsaber battles with just regular swords.
Attack the Clones came out in 2002. So, and that's had the most lightsaber battles ever. So, it's right there.
Makes sense.
Alrighty. On to our Spawn Cape continuum. What you got for that?
So, I mean, there are some things that didn't hold up. Sure. I don't disagree with that. The explosion of the manor, I comically giggled at.
Jekyll and Hyde are changing underwater.
Yeah, that was kind of bad. But like,
especially when he breathed out.
Yeah, like how is he breathing at all underwater? Just saying.
He has gills. Duh.
Okay.
I mean, don't you, Joey? Come on.
No, I can't swim.
We know,
so of course,
we know you're half fish. Okay.
If I was half fish, I could swim. I can't swim. I think
that's your curse is that you're half fish, but you can't swim. Everybody knows that.
Okay.
Fucking manatee. Anyway,
fuck you.
Weird. I don't know why I went there, but I did.
Yeah,
but like, anyway, so like, Dorian Gray's like bullet holes closing up, I thought still looked held up and looked cool. I think everything with the Invisible Man looked still really good.
Yeah.
Like when he first puts on the paint and stuff, I was like, holy shit, this looks like nowadays like look. Some of the like I thought there were scenes with the car that looked rough. The boat in some spots when they're trying to do like the bigger wide shots of it look very CG'd. But I give it like I'm still gonna give it like 47 out of 46 capes because like it still holds up. I think it looks good. I think this movie still holds up. I mean, outside of the few little things and
I still have fun.
And the third act falling apart, but yeah, I kind of wish they would relaunch this. I wish they would either make I don't know if it's necessarily a reboot, but like because I don't want them to just redo the entire movie. I would like that like sequel or like a spin-off or something where they acknowledge that this movie existed, that these people were, already had happened, and it's like a new league coming in. Because there's like 3 or 4 volumes of this, I believe, of this comic.
Like just a picture of them up on the wall.
Yeah, like something. Yeah, just something a little like to pay homage to the group or something, and like then set it in like
they have the mask from
70s.
Phantom.
Yeah.
So allegedly there was a reboot planned. Apparently it got scrapped when Disney and Fox merged, but Hollywood Reporter reveals in May of 2022 that the reboot is back on track as a Hulu release.
All right.
So that's the
Here's
last
the thing.
I've heard. So I haven't heard anything because I thought I heard about a reboot happening.
Yeah, but like Hulu's got some good, and I hope it's a series. Like I kind of don't want it to be a movie. I hope it's like a small mini series,
like an 8 episodes, 8 episode series, 10 episode series. Yeah,
I think that's what I'm starting to like more.
You're able to build out character development more, and
I think it's great. I'm super on board with this. I hope it. I don't think I've seen an adaptation of something like I liked the Lord of the Rings. War of the Ring or whatever it was?
Oh, Ring of Power.
Ring of Power. Yeah, I liked that. I liked. Really I don't know. I've been watching a bunch of shit lately, and I think this is the new way to do this. I think all the Marvel stuff's been really good,
Yeah.
So all the Star Wars
obviously,
stuff
like it's going to be a minute because of the WGA strike and the SAG strike, which I support. I'm pretty sure you guys both support it.
100%.
Fuck big companies.
Yeah, like the fucking everybody's staying with the union. So are you fucking crazy? Like, unless you're a billionaire, fuck off.
Now,
that being said, everybody get back to fucking work. Sorry.
Now, I'm not saying that when this episode gets released and people listen to it, that it's over. This will be the end of August.
I don't see that
in the middle
ending
of July.
anytime soon.
I don't think it's going to be. I think
No.
the strike will still be going on. So yes, we support it 100%. But that being said, any work on any new stuff is going to be a while. So
I had heard that they were.
It's not going to be happening anytime soon.
I heard that they were shooting. Because I've seen screenshots of it too, of the new Deadpool movie, Deadpool 3.
They were 2 months away from finished shooting. Yeah, like 2 or 3 months away from finishing, and now they're gonna pause it because of the strike.
So did they actually pause it? Because I had heard that they were still going to shoot it, but they literally could not change anything.
Nope, they are. That would have been for the writer's strike.
Oh,
now that SAG is on strike,
gotcha.
They are like, all right, we are part of the Screen Actors Guild. We're on strike. So yeah, everything is shut down. Production everything.
I did kind of like seeing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in the actual Wolverine costume.
Hell yes.
I kind of liked it. I think it looked really good. I'm really glad they put him in yellow. You know what I mean? Like we haven't actually gotten a yellow suit, so I was pretty hyped about it.
I said the most we ever had was like the deleted scene of the Wolverine, I think.
Yeah.
That was just the suit in a box.
Yeah.
Okay. So that takes us to our scores. Chuck, what you got?
So this one's a little hard. Like I really liked this. Like I didn't like it. I had a fun time with it. I still think it was good. I still think it's an interesting concept. I just wish the third act didn't fucking fall apart like we've kind of talked about and stuff.
Yeah.
I still think it holds up. I still love Nemo. I still think the action scenes are super dope. But if we're going off my normal criteria of is this the thing that it's supposed to be, I don't really know because I don't know a lot about this like IP necessarily. I'm gonna say 5.7.
Okay.
It's not quite a 6 for me, but I feel like giving it a 5 just isn't fair because I actually paid attention. I was barely on my phone. Towards the end of the movie, I started to kind of like get a little
because
sleepy.
The third act wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, because it was, and I was starting to get a little sleepy at that point. But like, I like this movie. I don't think it deserves the amount of criticism that it got. I think that the worst part of it is Sean Connery, and if you can get past that, this is a good movie.
We're also coming into it with 20 years of fondness of hindsight kind of thing. Like, this movie is 20 years old and it's not
still good
for the time. It was fine. Yeah,
still good.
I will say, I admit that I always confuse the beginning of Van Helsing, which comes out in 2004, with this movie, the beginning of this movie, where Van Helsing is chasing after
Hyde,
Dr. Jekyll, or Mr. Hyde. So like, I always confuse that for whatever reason. I don't know.
Are we
why.
watching that?
We're not. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to double check on that one.
We should just throw it in there anyways. I mean, who cares at this rate?
Is that based off a comic?
It's based off
that version of it based off a comic book?
No, I'm pretty sure it's just based off of the books.
It's books. Okay. I know there is an anime manga.
Yes.
That's a comic that counts. Therefore, we.
Yeah, I did that on purpose. I'm sorry.
Ron, what you got?
So much like Chuck, I didn't think it was that bad, especially being 20 years old, and most of the CGI that did involve explosions or like the scenery held up pretty well. I gave it a 5.5.
Okay.
It probably would have gotten higher, but we did not get to see any tits.
Ironically enough,
we did see Mr. Hyde's left tit.
Yes.
Right here on the screen.
It's true. Hi.
Allegedly, the promotional art for Mina, Peta Wilson, I think her name is, they apparently doctored that so that her boobs are like more prominent.
Yeah, that's not.
I get why, but
I mean, it's 2003. What do you expect?
Exactly.
Sex sells.
Women shouldn't be anywhere near action anyway. So.
No, you gotta say it right. Women shouldn't be anywhere near the action.
So what I was gonna say earlier,
the
the scene where she is making fun of him, she felt really uncomfortable doing that. She actually went up to Sean Connery and asked if it was okay. And he's like, yeah, no, it's fine. Do the scene. And when he saw the scene, he's like, yeah, you did great. Like, you were awesome. You're amazing. And she's like, really? Yeah, it was the worst accent I've ever heard. You did an amazing job at that.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I think that's what she was trying to go for. I mean, it felt like what she's going for anyway, but what a fucking dick. All right. Fucking hate him. I don't know what it is about him. I don't think I've ever seen a Sean Connery movie where I was like, I really like him as an actor, which is weird because
Last
there was
Crusade is like my first time I ever saw him.
I'll be honest, I think Last Crusade is a good movie. I don't think it's the best. I still think Raiders of the Lost Ark is better.
Yes, I will 100% agree.
I kind of like Temple of Doom better too, personally, but I don't know.
The new one looks good. New one was good.
Yeah, I went and saw it, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was a good send off.
Yeah, wonderful send off.
It was a good send off for him.
Yep.
It gets a little silly.
It jumps the shark. It literally jumps the shark.
Is it better than Crystal Skulls though?
Yes.
Yes.
Because Crystal Skulls was dog shit.
Out of the 5 movies, it's number 3 for me.
Damn.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rank it. I don't know if I'd rank it that high, but it was.
Well, the other 2 are Temple of Doom and Crystal Skull. So,
yeah, fair.
I generally tend to rank my Indiana Jones movies by my favorite female character in them. So obviously, Raiders is number 1.
Yeah, Karen Allen is awesome.
Yeah, and she's the hottest chick he ends up hooking up with. So, like,
and marrying in Crystal Skull.
Yeah, let's not talk about Crystal Skull.
Cool. You want to talk about canon
anymore? Yeah, let's hear about your score.
Actually, it is canon because of events and.
God damn it! I just said it wasn't canon on this show, therefore it's not fucking canon.
Technically, go watch. You should go see it. It is good. I
really good.
Really liked it.
So I gave this movie a 6. I really enjoyed it. I remember enjoying it back when I watched it, but I was 20 at the time, and I didn't know any better. But even now, like, I had fun with it. Like we said, the characters are a blast. Plus the fact that they are literary characters, it just kind of. I mean, I'm never gonna. It just helps me know these characters are famous.
I almost read a book because of this movie, so
right?
I get it gets credit.
And I do want to read the comic at some point.
I almost read the Portrait of Dorian Gray.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I was just like, I thought he was a really cool character. And I did look at the pictures of a book that was the movie adaptation of The Invisible Man.
Okay.
So it's like it's kind of like I read a book.
You almost read a book, yeah.
I don't really like books.
Only comic books, right?
Even then, it's kind of a grind. Yeah.
All right.
I'm still trying to get through The Crow. So.
Oh, Jesus. So with our combined score, we have a 5.73.
That's not bad.
That's your score, Chuck. Like, you crushed it.
Literally. Yeah, like it just kind of averaged out to that. And that puts it at number 29, which is just below Batman Returns with a 5.83 and just above Batman and Robin at a 5.71.
Not the worst spot.
No, not at all.
I think that's a pretty solid in the middle spot.
Out of 68 movies? Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. It'll be interesting to see where if it starts to get knocked down now that we're getting into like the era of mediocre to slightly bad. Well,
and if you
movies of the time that I think we're starting to hit that era where we're going to go back and watch stuff and be like, this actually wasn't as bad as everybody says that it was.
Well, like look at Blade 2. Like I remember it being trash, but I actually enjoyed it this time around.
Yeah.
This last watch.
I feel like this is when the cynical, because the internet really is starting to become a thing now.
And
so like it is, everyone is just shitting on everything.
Yeah.
Moviepoopshoot.com.
Exactly.
I mean, we've got, let's see here. Just
what the fuck is the internet?
Like I know for DC wise, we've got like Constantine and V for Vendetta coming up here soon.
Both good movies.
Another
I remember
Alan Moore
Constantine. Constantine, I remember people being like, it's okay.
Exactly.
And nowadays everyone's like, no, that's actually a really good movie and it doesn't get nearly enough credit.
Look, it's getting a sequel.
Wait, what?
Finally.
That's true.
Yeah.
Is it still going to be Keanu Reeves?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
What will be interesting is when we watch V for Vendetta, because I've never seen it.
What?
I've seen it once or twice, but it was when it came out. So it's been, let's see, that came out in 2005. It's been almost 20 years for me.
I've seen it at least 3 times.
I never saw it because I hated every kid that thought it was the coolest fucking thing they'd ever seen and like lived as if they were fucking the dude with the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. They was like, I'm anarchist, but I'm gonna like they bought like replica masks and stuff in my school, and I just remember thinking like, you are a bunch of fucking losers and nobody likes you. And I always associated that movie with them. And then it was like a bunch of like shitlords in college used to like that, and Boondock Saints were like the 2 movies that everybody loved. And I was just like, why? I hate all of you. So it'll be interesting to finally go watch this and see if I actually like it.
I love Boondock Saints. I watch that every fucking
every St. Patty's Day party we had at your house. That movie was always on.
You know what it was? It got too hyped up for me. That's what it was. If somebody
I didn't see it when it first came out. I didn't see it until years after it had already been out. So
I didn't see it until I saw it at your house. So like,
I was in college.
A long time ago.
I was in college when it came, like and everybody who was like a year or 2 older than me, because we had like a mixed dorm where it was like upperclassmen and underclassmen, and everybody was just like, you've never seen Boondock Saints? It's literally the quintessential best movie ever. Like that's how they always constantly pitch it to me. Like, it's great. It's a perfect movie. It's a perfect action movie. This and everything else. So I finally sat down and watched it, and I was just like, this is all right. Like, it didn't blow me away. I wasn't like amazed by it.
That's because you're not a mobster or a gangster, or it would have blown you away.
Neither were they, and I did not understand it. They were a bunch of fucking farm kids. Like, they were stupid and dumb.
Love it. All right, gentlemen. I think that's everything. So why don't we let everybody know where we can find everybody?
Yeah, you can find me on I'm Chuck, and you can find me on TikTok and Instagram. Kicked Out of the Hood, No Being Kicked. Just follow that. I haven't done anything else lately on any of the other stuff, so just go follow me on that, and I'll share the post of the other things whenever I do it. I have a hobby page. I have a kitchen page. I made like 1 TikTok on one of them, I think, recently. And you can listen to my hot takes like this. Ready for this? Was my hot take. I think that the fight between Yoda and Palpatine is better than the Duel of Fates fight.
Ooh,
I agree.
Ooh,
yeah,
that was also a hot take.
Palpatine just chucking the entire Senate at Yoda is fucking rad as shit.
Yoda is just Sonic with a lightsaber in this whole thing.
I will say
it's so much better than people give it credit for, and I don't think that the Duel of Fates is nearly as good as everyone acts. It's too flippy dippy for me. So suck it, Star Wars fans.
But
Palpatine versus Yoda.
The music was better for the Duel of Fates than it was for Palpatine and Yoda.
I think it's a little overrated too. I don't think the Duel of Fates is that good of a song. It's good and it's very iconic. I just don't think it's as good as everybody claims that it is.
I wonder if this is when I should announce that we're going to be doing Star Wars movies, one Star Wars movie a month next year.
Listen, I'm
all for it. I love watching those movies.
Here's the thing. I am the most hardcore casual Star Wars fan. Like, I literally have a Star Wars, like half a Star Wars sleeve, right? I love Star Wars. Star Wars was like one of the most important things of my childhood growing up. The Battle for Hoth completely changed my life and made me a fan of Star Wars as a whole.
So it's not because you look like an Ewok?
Fuck you.
You called me a manatee. Fuck off.
That's fair. That's super fair. Star Wars fucking sucks. Okay, like I can't wait to talk about it. And I don't give a shit about like I love the extended universe, and I really like the stuff that Disney did and all that stuff. My favorite thing ever from Star Wars is the 2D Star Wars clones like specials that they did, the 2 1-hour episodes.
Yeah,
that looks like Samurai Jack.
Yendi, what's his name? Yes, I have those.
Yeah. It's so good. There's barely any dialogue in it, really, and like it's super good. It's all action. That's like my favorite thing from Star Wars ever. But couldn't give a shit about the comics. Dark Horse shit's garbage and stupid and not even canon anyway. The books are stupid and dumb, and I don't care. I only care about like shows and the movies. So I can't wait to get into Star Wars because I love a lot of the Star Wars stuff, and also Jedi are the worst and they bore me. I only care about smugglers and outlaws. So I look at Star Wars as a space western, not as a space opera. So yeah.
Okay, now maybe I will consider throwing that on next year. Because I know Ron and I have talked about it. We've talked about doing it.
I think we should damn well do it. Hell yeah.
Because they
as long as we watch Willow before that, I don't give a fuck.
So what you don't know is actually there's this really weird crossover for Willow. So we have to watch Willow. And
he is true.
And then we have to find.
Okay, well, we'll figure that one out. Ron, where can they find you at?
Good at this game. Instagram, TikTok, probably other places. Some dirty places if you really want to look. Hey,
there you go.
That might get us more fans. You never know.
Never know. I'm always up for fans.
Yep. Heyo.
Heyo.
You guys can find me on Twitter at _actually_. You can find the show, Comic Book Rundown, on Twitter at Comic Rundown, on Instagram at Comic Book Rundown. You can email us, comicbookrundown@gmail.com. I have now got a Threads, and actually I have changed my Instagram and Threads to be both Comic Book Rundown and my other show, A Walk Through the Multiverse. So I'll be promoting both shows on there. That way it's easier.
Yeah, you threw me off the first time I saw that yesterday. I was like, wait, we didn't watch this fucking movie. Is he?
Yeah, sorry.
Is he fucking moonlighting on me? What the hell? Oh.
Although I will say, because I've been covering, I know this is months ago, but I've been covering the Full Metal Alchemist live action movies on Netflix, and the first one was good. Second one was fine. But if you want to watch these and not have to watch 60 episodes of the anime or read 27 volumes of the manga, this is probably the way to go. They are 2 hours long. I think the last one, the third movie, is like 2.5 hours. But for the most part, it tells the whole story. It sucks because it's kind of truncated, if I'm being honest. They take out things. Like, there's not a lot of build up to some parts, but so far I've been enjoying it. And I know at the time of this recording, I haven't watched the third one yet, but that'll be for the next episode. Yeah, it's basically I'm working up watching all these live action animes to then cover the live action One Piece on Netflix, coming out next week. Well, no, wait, hold on. What day is that? Yeah, coming out next week. If you guys are
at the time of recording.
No, at time of release, it comes out next week.
At time of release.
Yeah. So let's see what else we got. We got you can rate and review us on your podcasting app of choice or on social medias. We'll read them, maybe read them on an upcoming episode. We haven't really done a chit chats in a while, and I have something in the works to take those places.
Yeah, by the way, what a fucking dumpster fire of an idea. That is going to be a mess. I can't wait for
everyone. It'll be great. Are you kidding me?
It's going to be, oh, God.
2 hours of all of us just being crazy. I love
2 hours of all of us talking over each other. It's going to be a nightmare.
It's going to be wonderful. We have
Ron, get extra drunk.
That's going to be... The only issue is Quinn being a day ahead. We gotta figure out the time change.
Nope, he's just gonna have to get drunk way early in the morning or way late at night, whatever it works.
Well, no, what I'm saying is we gotta figure out exactly. Like, it's probably gonna be like either a Friday night or a Saturday night recording, or like Saturday morning recording. We'll figure it out. We have merch over on Redbubble.
It doesn't matter. Ron's willing to drink whenever for the show. Like, he's willing to take that grenade. You know what I mean?
And we have our songs were done by, which one is this? Cam.
Yep.
Songs done by Cam.
He used to be half the Sex Turtles. Used to be part of Wreck My Podcast.
Yep.
And now he's what, a
Now
doctor?
He's just a big, huge penis.
He's almost a doctor.
Right? He has a
I don't
PhD.
I need to talk to him again. I haven't talked to him yet. So
I thought PhD stood for pretty hard dick.
Wouldn't be the same.
Again, audio podcast, but the look that Joey just gave Ron was just like, can I just end this fucking show?
I'm trying to end the show. I gotta go to bed because I'm going to work early tomorrow. Our next movie, we're talking about getting into the era of movies that may hold up, may not hold up. We are going to be watching Spider-Man from 2002.
Tobey Maguire's
the Tobey
Spider-Man.
Maguire
First
Spider-Man.
one. Yep. So
All right.
I
I remember this movie and walking out of the theater and it like changing my mind, like changing my life. It was
wonderful.
It was so good. It was everything I wanted. I remember walking out of the movie theater and being like, I wish it didn't end. Like I wanted more. And it took forever for me to get there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the second one came out 2 years later.
That was a very long 2 years.
It really was. And I mean, I remember the second one being a lot better than the first one. I like the second one better.
Everybody else says that too, and I don't think I haven't consecutively watched them all again, but I think I remember not getting why everybody loved the second one as much, other than the fact that Doc Ock looks rad as shit in this movie.
He does.
In that movie. I'm actually excited about this. I didn't mind Goblin, but
like Willem Dafoe's Goblin, amazing.
Willem Dafoe's Goblin's good.
The Power Rangers fight was interesting, but we'll get there. We'll talk about it, on next episode.
It was the suit. A lot of people don't. It was the armor, right? Like that's what they were doing and stuff. So
Yep. So all right, everyone. We will catch you later.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.